Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, is a young man who stood his ground against injustice. He stood against wickedness that a lot of us are still experiencing today. I'm talking about the invasion of some characters from the northern part of Nigeria, joined to some from the Sahel, from the desert, from wherever, Senegambia, Mali, wherever it is. These people came into the south of Nigeria after they had done crushing the north of Nigeria. They've made it become a place that is inhabitable. They've made it a place where you cannot sleep closing two of your eyes. They infiltrated the southwest of Nigeria. In the southeast of Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, came up with Eastern Security Network. Somehow, his people, and I'm saying this carefully, joined forces with the government of the day, and they found a way to crush Eastern Security Network. They were afraid that the outfit could be hijacked, could metamorphose into a militia group that could result into another civil war. That is not what we want. Well, in the southwest of Nigeria, Sunday Igboho stood his ground against the invasion of the so-called Fulani herdsmen. They can be called bandits and they can be called terrorists, whatever name you ascribe to them. This group of people, they are still at large. They've infiltrated all the segment, portion, region, parts of Nigeria. What they do is to kidnap. They kidnap for ransom and they kidnap to sell body parts. That is how bad it is. Insecurity. Well, Sunday Igboho decided to sacrifice his life and all that he had. He did stood his ground, and he ended up saying, you know what? Let us divide Nigeria, Yoruba nation now. This got certain people upset and angry. His home was invaded on that day of July. And some people lost their lives. At least we know of one. Others were carted away like goats, rams, down to Abuja. They were prosecuted illegally. They were dealt with illegally. Eventually, Sunday Igboho found a way to Benin Republic, a neighboring country. Somehow, prayer and all of that was done. He returned back to Germany. Now, during the course of this, event, he lost his mother. He is now back to bury his mother. I want you to listen to what he has to say and we'll talk more.
Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kí ogun Fúlàní tó jà yín nílùú Gàngàn mọ́. Ọlọ́run tó lò mí láti ṣẹ́gun fún yín ní ìlú Gàngàn lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní kò ní jogun ọjà yín bẹ̀ mọ́. Tó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé màá ní kí pásọ̀ fàyè gbà mí kí àwọn aráàlú Gàngàn wá mọ oore tí ìlú Ìgbòho ṣe fáwọn kan wá dúpẹ́ oore yẹn fúnra wọn ń bí. Wọ́n dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ wá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ohun táwọn náà bá ṣe fún chọ́ọ̀chì ìlú Ìgbòho. Torí pé chọ́ọ̀chì yìí náà bí mi sí. Náà ti sọ mí lórúkọ. Àwọn bàbá wa Ezekiel. Àwọn náà sọ mí lórúkọ bí bàbá mi ṣe sọ fún mi. Torí pé bàbá mi olórìṣà ni wá nínú ilé wa. Bàbá mi Sàǹsì Adéẹmọ ni ó jẹ́ bí alágbà gbogbo eléégún ní ìlú Ìgbòho ń bí. Ó sì ní ọdún tí bàbá fi ṣàkóso ìlú Ìgbòho yìí tí àlàáfíà sì wà. Kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ kálàáfíà tó mọ̀ wà nílùú Ìgbòho. Gbọ̀ngbà tí bàbá mi fẹ́ yá mi ó sì ń ṣe ẹ̀sìn ẹ̀ lọ. Gbà tó wá fẹ́ yàwó lé bàbá mi ó di Kristẹ̀. Ó bí èmi ó bí gbogbo ọmọ rẹ̀ sínú ìgbàgbọ́. A sì ń ṣe ti Kristẹ̀. Bàbá wa fi ẹ̀sùn kàn mí pé mo níyàwó bíi méjì. Nígbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ẹni ọlọ́run wà níyàwó kọ̀ọ̀kan. Tí a bá wá rí ẹni tó níyàwó kan nínú Báíbù ẹni kí pásọ̀ ṣàlàyé fún mi. Jákọ́bù ò níyàwó kan. nínú bíbélì tí à ń wò yìí nígbà tí ẹni Ọlọ́run kan òun fẹ́yàwó nígbà tó sin gbà tán tó ṣẹrú tán ní ọ̀dọ̀ àna rẹ̀ ó wá fẹ́yàwó nígbà tó fẹ́yàwó ìyàwó tó fẹ́ tó láì nínú ọkàn rẹ̀ wọn ò fún èyí tó wá jẹ́ àgbà torí wọ́n pìtẹ̀ fún pé inú agboolé tiwa ń bí àgbà ní kọ́kọ́ mọ́ lọ́kọ kí àbúrò tó ní tó bá fẹ́ fẹ́ àbúrò tó fẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́n ó tún sin gbọ́n ọdún méje ó lòún fara mọ́ ó wá fẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n ó fẹ́ àbúrò ìgbà tó fẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n tó fẹ́ àbúrò ń bímọ àbí ẹ̀gbọ́n ń bímọ àbúrò tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ kò bí torí pé Ọlọ́run lọ́ba alágbára òun ló sì lọ́mọ lọ́dọ̀ ó tún wá bẹ lọ́run pé akélódé ẹni tí mo fẹ́ràn yìí ò bímọ Ọlọ́run ni ó tún bọ́ ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀ sùn kó lè jẹ́ mẹ́ta ó dà pé mẹ́ta ni ó kọ́kọ́ pé kí ẹ kí hallelujah ó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ sọ pé ká tẹ̀lé Jésù ò tiẹ̀ kúkú níyàwó kankan Pọ́ọ̀lù tó sì ní ẹ fẹ́ yàwó kan òun kẹ́ ò tiẹ̀ fẹ́ so kí wàá ní bàbá ń ṣàlẹ́ǹjì mi sí nígbà tí Ọlọ́run fún mi ní àkọ́kọ́ tí mo fẹ́ nílùú Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ tí ẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ sì da òun tún fi mí le ẹ̀wọ̀n kó orí lọ́jẹ́ fún mi lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run mo tẹ̀lé àwọn òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run nìyẹn Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí lùgbò ọ bàjẹ́ bàbá inú mi dùn sí ìgbà tí mò ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ lórí fóònù mi rí but inú mi máa ń dùn Bíbélì tí n bá gbọ́ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí ilé Olúwa ó ní inú mi máa ń dùn torí pé Christian ni mí Bíbélì mo sì kà dáadáa ó yé mi nígbà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ń rìnà nínú Bíbélì sí mi mo wá lu bàbá mi wá sí ìyá mi ìyá méje bí yẹn àwọn alàgbà mi ń sẹ́ndì ẹ̀ sí mi mo wá rí alàgbà mi Káyọ̀dé ó ní mọ̀dẹ́ nìkan kan lóhùn ó ní lọ sí ìyá mi kò ní ṣe o mo dẹ̀ rí pé nu Bíbélì Mósè ní Olúwa jẹ́ kí n rí ojú rẹ bàbá ní kò sí ẹ̀dá tó lè rójú mi tó lè wà láàyè ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn wá ń dùn Mósè ó wá ń gbàdúrà Bíbélì Olúwa pé kí Mósè pàdé òun ní òkè Síónì pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Ísírẹ́lì Bíbélì nígbà tí wọ́n ń lọ ó ní mọ̀lẹ́sọ ó ní òkùnkùn sọ̀ ẹ̀rù bà àwọn ọmọ Ísírẹ́lì wọ́n sá padà Mósè gòkè torí pé òun la fi rán ìgbà tí mo ka Bíbélì tó parí mo wá lọ wá Book of Moses láti rí òdodo ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn Mósè ní Olúwa jẹ́ kí n rí ẹ ó gòkè gẹ́gẹ́ pé alágbára ni ìwé Mósè ní kétúnṣe lé ìwé Mósè ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ sọ̀kalẹ̀ láti sánmà ó ló fọ́ àpáta lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Mósè gbà Mósè dákú ni torí pé kò sí ẹ̀dá tó lè rọ́lọ́run tí ó wà láàyè ìwé Mósè ní Mósè dákú fún 40 ọjọ́ àti òru 40 tí ò tají rárá Ọlọ́run wá sọ fún Gabriel pé lọ pè é dìde kó lè mọ̀ pé àwa lọ́lọ́run Bíbélì nígbà tí Mósè dìde ó ní ojú ẹ̀ pọ́n ó dàbí ẹ̀yẹ ná bọ̀ inú ìwé yìí Bíbélì ní ó rí àkẹ̀yìn sí Ọlọ́run bọ̀ ìwé Mósè gangan ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ wá láti sánmọ̀ ó fọ́ àpáta gbá ó ní Mósè dákú ni Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká dákú báyìí níbi tí ẹ̀yin wá ti rí Ọlọ́run tí yín tó ní mọ́ wá sí ìyá mi èmi ò mọ̀ ohun tó dẹ̀ sọ sẹ́yìn tó fi ní mọ́sìn ìyá mi bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lè bá ń pè é dìde kẹ́ ṣàlàyé fún ìyá mi kú torí ìrònú tèmi mo ti sọ fún Ọlọ́run pé mo fẹ́ lọ sin gbogbo ẹni tó bá di ẹranko ní ọjọ́ yẹn tàbí tó ní ó di ejò mo ní Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kó dé yẹn padà mo ní gbogbo ìjọba tó bá ní kí n mọ́sìn ìyá mi Ọlọ́run pa wọ́n rẹ́ kí n tó débẹ̀ Ọlọ́run sì gbà fún mi dá ẹ̀mí mi sí jẹ́ kí n sin ìyá mi torí pé abiyamọ ni ìyá mi. Ó wù mí kí n rí ìyá mi kó tó kú ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ló ní ẹ̀mí tí àsìkò ẹ̀dá bá tó ni ẹ̀dá máa ń kú àjẹkọ́ ló ń pààyàn oṣokọ́ ló ń pààyàn ẹgbẹ́ sọnù èèyàn ò lè dá yẹn pa tí àsìkò òkú ẹ̀dá ò bá tó bí ẹ̀mí yẹn bá tọwọ́ èèyàn bọ́ ìmọ̀ sí Ọlọ́run ni ìyá mi ẹ̀mí rẹ̀ ò tọwọ́ ẹnì kankan bọ́ ó pè mí fúnra ẹ̀ ó ní Àdìsá mo ní mọ̀ mi ó ní kí ló ń dá ẹ dúró ní bẹ́ẹ̀nì mo ní mọ̀ mi mo ní kò yé mi náà ó lóhun tó sọ ni pé tí bàbá Tinubu bá ti wọlé Buhari lẹ́jọ́ ń jà Buhari ló ní kí wọ́n lọ pa ẹ́ mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ní bàbá Tinubu yẹn ti wá wọlé ṣebí Yorùbá lòun mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ní tó bá wálé tó bá pa ẹ́ ìtàn Yorùbá ò ní tán lórúkọ tiẹ̀ náà mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mọ́ mi ó ní tán Akíntọ́lá àtàwọ́lọ́wọ́ tán mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ní máa bọ̀ ńlé mo ní ẹ bẹ̀nẹ̀gàn òfin mílẹ̀ kí n wà ó ní ṣé mo lẹ́nìkan tí mo lè lọ bá tí ń bọ̀ bá tí wọ́n fi fi ọlẹ̀ mo ní mi ò mọ̀ ó lóun lọ bọ́ lọ́hùn àǹtí mi ló jókòó yẹn ìtàn bí mi lé nìyẹn mọ́ mi wá pè mí pé inú rùn níjọ́ kejì tó bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ní alẹ́ ẹjọ́ tó bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ó wá nínú rùn mo nínú rùn yín báwo ẹ dé dẹ́mọ̀ dẹ́rù bá kí ni kò sọ fún mi kó òun sì kiri ìgbà tó wá nínú rùn mo wá pe Bọ́lá àbúrò mi wọ́n ní lọ wo mọ́ mi nulẹ̀ torí ẹ fìyà yẹn lẹ̀ ẹ ní tàsí ọlọ́dẹ bí ìyá méjì ń bí yẹn sáré lọ ó lóun ti ń lọ àtọ́kọ̀ òun ìgbà tó débẹ̀ ó gbé mọ́ mi ó ní kankan ò sí mọ́ mi pé àwọn ti lọ hospital mo ní mọ̀ mi ẹ̀dẹ̀ dẹ́rù bà mí wọ́n ní àwọn ti wà ókè èló lé oògùn tẹ́ ra wọ́n ní 20,000 mo sẹ́ndì owó yẹn lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ẹ fi yókù sáko ẹ sáà ti ẹ wà pa mo wá ń retí kọ́ọ̀lù wọn ní àárọ̀ láàárọ̀ kùtù torí máa ń pè mí àdìsá ẹ̀yìn kìíní kan ó ní torí pé mo máa ń ṣe ó ní èmi nìkan ni ọmọ tí òun bí tí mo máa ń ṣe mọ́ mi ó ní àkọ́bí òun sọ pé ìyá Sunday ó ní ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tí òun bí lẹ́nu pé ìyá Sunday ọlábòrò mi gan ò ní pè òun ní mọ́ mi ó lè mi ọ sọ pé mọ́ mi ó nínú wọn àmọ́ ń dùn tó bá ti wá pè mí láàárọ̀ àmọ̀ sí yẹ̀yẹ́ yẹn kò wá pè mí mo wá pe Bọ́lá pé mò ń pe mọ́ mi nọ́mbà rẹ̀ ọ̀lọ́ ó ní mọ́ mi àwọn oṣù mọ́jú o pé hospital àwọn wà mọ́ mi ò sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ mi ní ó fẹ́ rí mi ní ẹ gbé fóònù fún ó ní kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ mo ní ẹ gbé sí fídíò ẹ gbé fóònù fún dókítà yẹn dókítà nǹkan kan gbọdọ̀ ṣe mọ́ mi ó ní kò sí nǹkan kan tó ṣe wọ́n ó ní bí ìgbà tí inú kankan yẹn lásán ni ó làwọn dẹ̀ lọ ṣe scan fún Ológbòmọ̀ṣọ́ ẹ gbé fóònù fún mọ́ mi kí n rójú ẹ̀ Bọ́lá wá gbé fóònù sí wọn lójú mo ní mọ̀ mi ó ní ó ṣe báyìí mo ní ṣebí torí tèmi ni ẹ̀sìn nǹkan inú nǹkan yín tẹ̀ ń kára mò ń bọ̀ nílé ńsìn ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ dárayá ó ṣe báyìí ó ṣe báyìí wọ́n wá pe àkọ́bí wa àǹtí mi mo ní ṣé ẹ ti débẹ̀ wọ́n làwọn ti débẹ̀ wọ́n dókítà ni wọ́n gbé wọn lọ sí LAUTECH mo ń pè wọ́n ní 5 minutes níwájú ilé Ọlọ́run la wà yìí mo ń pè wọ́n ní ìṣẹ́jú márùn láti mọ́nítọ̀ ìyá mi ìgbà tí ó fi dé Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ wọ́n làwọn ti kọjá àwọn ti fẹ́ wo Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ báyìí ìgbà tó ń dó Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ tó ń wo LAUTECH lọ́kankan àbúrò mi pè mí ó ń sunkún mo ní kí ló ń ṣe ẹ́ tó ń ṣe bí gbogbo àbí kò gbé fóònù fún mọ́ mi kò sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà sunkún gbé fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó ń bí mi lé àǹtíṣẹ́l àgbàniwọ̀ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ní mọ̀ mi ti kú mo ní àbẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ tẹ́ ń ṣe wọ́n níta sọ̀rọ̀ kí lẹ́ ń ṣe gángan báyìí fún ẹ gbé fún àǹtálísì àgbàlagbà ni wọ́n kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ní mọ̀ mi kú mi ò lè kú báyìí ó dákú ni ẹ̀yẹ mọ̀ pé kẹ́ mọ sáré lọ sọ́dọ̀ dókítà yẹn mò ń pè bọ̀dá wọ lákùlẹ́yìn kúrò ní dókítà bọ̀dá wa ní ẹni kí ní kí wọ́n gbé wọn bọ̀ kíákíákíá pé mọ̀ mi ò lè kú kí n fọkàn balẹ̀ ọkàn mi dẹ̀ balẹ̀ wọ́n wá dọ́dọ̀ bọ̀dá yẹn ó ní Sunday mọ́ni yẹn ó ní ìyá rẹ̀ ti kú wọ́n á rí i pé Ọlọ́run ni mò ń pa yẹn wọ́n á fi mí lẹ̀ ẹjọ́ kẹta ń bẹ̀ nà president yẹn nà ta lọ wọ́n á ní kí wọ́n lọ pè mí wá ó ní òun rí i pé ìyá mi kú òun rí nínú pépà ń sìn nílùú Bẹ̀nẹ̀ ń bí mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ló yọ Ọlọ́run ó ní màá máa rò pé ohun tóun ṣe ó dùn mí mo ní kò dùn mí torí pé kádàrá mi mo ní ẹ̀yin fúnra yín mọ̀ nílùú Bẹ̀nẹ̀ pé ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ mú mi èmi àti òun lájọ wà ń bẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ ń sọ fún un ìgbà tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹsẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ni mo kúrò mẹ́ wájú Ọlọ́run mo wà yìí mo sọ fún un pé láàrin àwọn ọlọ́pàá yìí mo lè lọ ń bì mo dẹ̀ lọ Ọlọ́run gbà fún mi bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n wá kánkọ́ọ̀fù sóun lọ́wọ́ múlẹ̀ wọ́n fi tàn mí mú padà èyí lè filẹ̀ mo pe òun pé wọ́n ti mú yàyọ́lẹ̀ ó ní mo padà lọ́bẹ̀ mo filẹ̀ o sọmọ pé ọmọ ọ̀rẹ́ kọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ìlú èbó ní dẹ̀ ń gbé ìjọba lọ kó ọmọ nù ilé o padà lọ́bẹ̀ lọ́ fara ẹ̀ kalẹ̀ wọ́n ló ń ṣe Yorùbá nìsàn mo dẹ̀ wọ́ọ̀nù ẹ̀ ò gbọ́ ọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pariwo mọ́ mi lórí fóònù ọ̀gbọ́dọ̀ fìrọ́pò lẹ́mbẹ̀ yẹn o padà lọ́bẹ̀ mo wá pe àwọn bàbá mi kí wọ́n ní kí n má lọ kí n má wọrí àwọn ìyànjú ẹ̀ òun pè mí gbọ́dọ̀ mọ́ lọ́bẹ̀ ṣé mo fi fọ ọmọbìnrin yẹn lẹ́mbẹ̀ yẹn ni mo dẹ̀ débẹ̀ mo ní ẹ tú ankọ́ èmi lẹ̀ ń wá wọ́n ṣe gàràgà mo ní ẹ farabalẹ̀ èmi lẹ̀ ń wá wọ́n làwọn ò lè tú torí pé òun làwọn fi tàn mí mú wọ́n tún wá dé mi mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́ wọ́n tún fi kàn kú ti ọwọ́ tiẹ̀ wọ́n gbé mi sínú ọkọ̀ wọ́n á sọ fóun mo ní àìmọ̀ ikú lè dé ẹ tọ́jú ìyá mi torí pé ọkùnrin ni mí tí ò bá sọkùnrin lé mọ́ níjọ́ tí ń kú ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ mo fọlọ́run tó ní mi búra níjọ́ tí ń kú pásítọ̀ ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ kò fún ẹni kankan òun ni ò jẹ́ kẹ́rù bà mí láti wá pé mo fẹ́ wá sí níjọ́ tí ń kú ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ tí ò bá sọkùnrin lè mọ ọkùnrin ni mí gbogbo yìí tá à ń pẹ́rọ̀ sọ mò ń ro ti àwọn ìyàwó mi àtọmọ tí n bá mọ̀ pé màá ṣèjì gan mi ní bímọ ní fẹ́yàwó bàbá mi tó bí mi gangan Akẹgbẹ́ Adéyẹmọ Adétúnjí ibà ẹ̀ lọ́nà ọ̀run òun máa ń kí mi láyà gan ni o ìgbà tí èmi àti ẹ̀ ń gbé Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ ọlọ́fọ̀run káwọn méjèèjì sìn wọ́n ti kú àwọn ti gbàgbé pé àwọn wálé ayé rí wọ́n ti lọ wọn ò dẹ̀ lè padà wá mọ́ wọ́n á di erùpẹ̀ dandan nìyẹn Bíbélì ní erùpẹ̀ ní àwa a ó sì padà di kò sí agbára tá a ní láyé kò sí life champion current champion ló wà my people kò sí life champion gbogbo ohun tó o ní nípò àtọmọmọwé ni o mo gbé èbó bí wèrè ni o mo lè ṣègbà ni o wàá kú ni wàá di yẹ̀pẹ̀ tábà wá rántí ọjọ́ tá a kú ẹ kẹrù ọlọ́mọ bà wá ká lè mọ jà fún àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù ká forúkọ rere sẹ́lẹ̀. mo tún wá ní ẹnìkan ń bí ó ti sanwó sínú àkáǹtì church ó dẹ̀ ni mo dárúkọ òun pé lórúkọ ìyá mi òun ti ju ẹrù sí àkáǹtì church. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí ọmọ rere ọgbẹ̀yìn gbogbo wa Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́mi ọmọ rere ọgbẹ̀yìn gbogbo wa nísìn mọ̀mọ́ ti gbàgbé pé òun wálé ayé rí ti pẹ́ ààbò mọ́lẹ̀ ọ̀tán nìyẹn tábà ti bòyá mọ́lẹ̀ tán lọ́ba parí làbá túká àbí ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ò túká pẹ̀lú wa ìyẹn ni ká mọ fi sọ́kàn wa ló fi jẹ́ pé ó yẹ ká mọ jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọnìyàn ká mọ jà fẹ́tọ̀ ara tiwa nìkan gbogbo ohun tó ń kójọ yẹn ọ̀pá kúnjọ́ kan náà ni wọ́n wá bà dúkìá mi jẹ́ wọ́n jó gbogbo ilé mi wọ́n bà nǹkan jẹ́ wọ́n bà mọ́tò mi jẹ́ ṣebí ńgbà tí mo wálé ayé ni mo bá ní mọ́tò yẹn mo bá yàwó lé ayé mo bọ́ ọmọ ńbẹ̀ ni mo bá gbogbo dúkìá yẹn mo bá lé mo sọ fún ọ pé kán lọ jó náà ńgbà tí wọ́n kọ́ jó tà kọ́kọ́ ná ṣé mo bínú ni wọ́n ti kọ́kọ́ wá jó kan ná 17 rooms ló wà ńbẹ̀ kò jìnnà síra wọn mi ò tí mo fẹ́ bọ́lọ̀ ń jà ní ilé ayé ni mo bá àní kí n jàfẹ́tọ̀ àwọn fẹ̀kùnmẹ̀kúnnù kí n jàfẹ́tọ̀ ọ̀ràn mi.
Welcome back. That's very touching. That's a touching one. You see, when you are against injustice, you will come across so many opposition. You will be betrayed. You will be betrayed. A lot of terrible things will happen to you. I could remember back then when it was back to back on Yoruba Nation Now, Biafra Nation Now, Igbo Nation Now on this platform. We were like back to back on it, following up every detail back to back. It was not an easy journey. Before the Yoruba Nation global international protest, or let us say awareness, prior to that, Sunday Igboho's home was attacked by the federal government of Nigeria during the Buhari's regime. His home was attacked. In fact, certain individuals connected the attack of Sunday Igboho's home to that of a two-sided politician, as he's called, Femi Fani Kayode. He came visiting Sunday Igboho's home to listen to what he has to say. Afterwards, he decamped to APC from PDP. Now, this might be connected or not, but he did decamp and he did not stretch any hand of support towards Sunday Igboho. But he came back then to listen to Sunday Igboho speak. Sunday Igboho expressed his mind, his thought, and all that has prompted him to do what he did and what he is ready to do. Now, it's not as if Femi Fani Kayode does not know this, but you see, many of them are comfortable with what they have going on for them. After all, he was a former minister of aviation and a lot of money disappeared under his watch. So when we talk about Nigeria as it is, it's also part of what Nigeria is. Now, let us keep that aside. In the southwest of Nigeria, being that every part of Nigeria, by law, according to the law, all tribes can reside. As long as you're in Nigeria, you can reside anywhere you want in Nigeria. Now, it has been observed that certain group of people from the northern part of Nigeria residing in the southwest of Nigeria are into, they've learned the language, culture, and everything. They have now become a sort of spy, and they go between. They become a go between kidnappers. When kidnappers commit their atrocity, and these kinsmen of theirs, if I want to call it that, or tribesmen of theirs, they are the ones that are the go-between. And I'm talking about those that have that have lived in that particular part of the southwest of Nigeria. They've lived there. Some of them were born there. They understand the language. They are the go-between. They are the go-between. Now, when Sunday Igboho investigated further, and other people investigated further, they realized that these people, this other tribe, were making money out of the pain, agony, tears of those that welcome them, of the indigenous people of the Southwest. They were making money off from the kidnapping, ransom, and all of that. And it's so bad, so bad that if you do not have money to pay ransom, and I'm not talking of little, they charge you, they bill you, they demand, they extort millions of naira off you. And I'm talking about people who cannot even afford 3 square meal, not even square, 3 meal. They can't afford 3 meal in a day. They demand millions of these people. If you cannot pay, if you cannot afford it, what they do is to cut the person up. Very gruesome. I do not want to describe it. And they sell off the body parts to those that need it, either for cannibal, whatever, or for some, devilish rituals. This is how these guys have been operating. And during the regime of Buhari, they penetrated, they invited each other. Some of them are Fulanis, some of them are not Fulanis. They penetrated each other. And this also gave room to indigenous people who are into the same evil enterprise to masquerade as aliens. That's what I called them back in those days. Aliens. Because we don't know if they are Fulanis or they are not Fulanis, but we know they are from the Sahel, they are from Senegal, Gambia, Mali, and the rest of these countries. They call themselves up like there is an open banquet in Nigeria. Let us penetrate. Let us do what we can never ever do in our own space, in our own part. Let us come into Nigeria. There is a lot of money to be made. Now, these guys have charted the forest, the bush in Nigeria. They know what leads to what, where leads to what. And also, they've been able to cripple farming in the southwest of Nigeria. They want the southwest, the south in general, to depend on agricultural products from the north of Nigeria. And it's not as if those in the north of Nigeria, I'm talking about the farmers themselves, they are not having it good, they are not having it nice. Governors of those states, they are not in charge. Those bandits, terrorists, and the rest of them, they are the ones in charge. They are the ones who take tax off from those farmers. You pay to sow, you pay to harvest. You pay to go to your farms. That is how bad it is. Now, Southerners in general, they decided amongst themselves, we will not buy cows from these people. Let us go back to what we do. Let us deal with our goats, rams, and they decided to do this. Why? First, to stop and to put an end to the invasion of these aliens, and also the diabolic practices of some of these people with their cows. Diabolic practices. Terrible practices. Some of them lay with their cows. There is nothing they don't do with their cows. So all of these things, they are so appalling that people said, no, we will not. The Southwesterners said, we will not do this anymore. Since these people that we have accepted as our own. Let us live together as one. Since they've decided to be this way, enough is enough. This is what prompted Sunday Igboho. He did what he could do. He did what he could do. He went into the forest. He went to some of the shanty towns, villages of these aliens who have lived, and some of them were born there. He went there and he dislodged them. Now, what will make a private individual take laws into his own hands? That is because whenever reports are made to the police, let's say there's a citizen arrest and they are handed over to the police, a call from Abuja comes through, and that individual that was arrested for heinous, wicked, evil crime will be released. They felt bigger than the law. They kept on committing crime. It was as bad as you can ever imagine and think. Well, certain groups of people, particularly the government, they struck at Sunday Igboho's home. They did terrible things. Somehow he found a way to escape. He left. Like I said it earlier, he somehow found a way down to the neighboring country to Nigeria, Benin Republic, and on his way at the airport to Germany, Benin Republic airport down to Germany, the Nigerian government already sent in their agents. They told the Benin Republic that he's a terrorist and that he is this. They lied. They said a lot of things, and he said, well, my wife was caught and I saw them and I said to myself, I will escape from here. He did escape from there, but he had to come back because his first wife called him and said, Mister, go back and give up yourself so that your second wife will be released because of the children she has for you. She has to be released to go back to Germany where she resides. You can't escape. Face it. You asked for this, so go face it. I've warned you. Go face it. Well, he did. He did. He was in Benin Republic for a while. And we talked about, we pressured the Benin Republic government. Eventually, Sunday Igboho was released and returned back to Germany. Well, he lost his mother. And apart from his mom being an elderly person, she met her early demise due to the situation that Sunday Igboho got into, or that came up on Sunday Igboho. It's the same that happened to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Both parents, within the space of, I think, 30 days or thereabout, or 2 months or thereabout, the same here. They both made their demise. They made their demise because there is no father or mother, no parent out there who will sleep when they know that the government of Nigeria is after their son. It is as bad as that. It is as bad as that. It's as terrible as that. Now, people believe that once Bola Ahmed Tinubu steps in there, being that he's from the southwest of Nigeria, a Yoruba man, he will tamper justice with mercy. He will kind of sort of pardon Sunday Igboho, even though that word pardon is not supposed to be used anyway. But they say to be politically correct. But that is not the word, because he has not in any way offended anyone. So we cannot use the word pardon. But that is what they said, that, the president will pardon him, allow him come in. It's not as if he committed any crime. Those that committed crime are the infiltrators. The perpetrators of this crime, they are there. Even the president, he knows about these things. He knows about it. He knows about it fully. He knows. He knows about it too well. He knows. Insecurity. I'm not saying that the Northerners and their kinsmen or tribesmen or relatives, because they are kind of connected together to other parts like Niger, Chad, Mali, Gambia, Senegal, and the rest of those countries in the Sahel. They are connected. Of course, we have our own droppings of crime in the south of Nigeria. We have criminals too. But when they came in, it became government backed during the Buhari's regime. They were pampered. The excuse then was that during the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration, they granted amnesty to Niger Delta militants who bursted pipeline, kidnapped people for ransom. It became business in the southeast of Nigeria. Kidnapping became a business. It wasn't even expatriates alone that were kidnapped. They kidnapped their own tribesmen. Whatever it is that can be kidnapped in the southeast of the area, that was what was in vogue in those days. Somehow, nothing has picked up on this, and they're like, it's our turn to go en masse. Let us do our own kidnapping. Until today, they are still kidnapping. Only the Yorubas, the South, West, they are the only ones that have not gone into full-scale kidnapping. I'm not telling you it does not exist. Like I told you, I say wickedness, evil exists all over the world, exists in all tribes. Kidnapping is not something that is specific to a tribe, but it became a commercial, it became big. The worst is that the government backed that of the North. They backed it up. They gave excuses. They gave excuses. They gave excuses. Till today, kidnapping is as worse as it can be. You dare not go to certain parts, you might be kidnapped. Insecurity is like every day you wake and you are alive. It's a big, huge miracle that you go down 10 meters and you return back home or wherever to the place you left. It's a big miracle because anything can happen to you. These are the things that prompted Sunday Igboho into, look, enough is enough. Let us all join forces together. The problem is this. Some people wanted to hijack this for their own personal gain. Yoruba nation became a mess in certain circles. I'm not saying totally. It became a mess in certain circles. And the security that was supposed to be a collective thing, it became an OPC, Sunday Igboho thing, and then, Areono can, is it Areono? Or let's just call him, okay, Areono can for not Iba, as he wanted to be, he wanted that attribute, Iba. There's nothing Iba about him. A lot of things happened then. He said his own boys have done their own due diligence. It became a clash of who to do, what to do, and all of that. It became a clash of who is more important, who is more luminous. It became a cat and, dog kind of thing back then. But Sunday Igboho is back. Well, the way I'm looking at the position of these two wives, the way they are not smiling, of course, it's not an event for them to smile. They don't want Sunday Igboho to return back to Nigeria and begin Yoruba nation or Fulani herdsmen. But he has made it clear. He said, if not because of my wife and my children, how I wish I do not have kids. If I knew that this was going to be the journey, I will not have wife and children, so that I will not have anybody to be responsible to. I will go head on. If I perish, I perish. If I die, I die. But he has kids. His wives do not want him to be the scapegoat or to put his neck out there whilst people are back there smiling and trying to make money out of tears, pain of others. So they have warned him, look, you've escaped this. The second time, you will not escape it. They will make sure they get you. So please, do not even talk about Yoruba nation or Fulani herdsmen or Yoruba. If those out there feel the pain of whatever it is happening around them, they will all rise up together and say, no, enough is enough. It's like it has not gotten to that point yet. When it gets there, they will realize that they all need to stand together against oppression among themselves and, of course, from aliens. Aliens. I don't know what you guys think of this. You've watched the emotional speech and that of courage of Sunday Igboho. He said a lot of things. He said a lot of things, and it is not an easy thing. If we go back memory lane to that day when his home was invaded in the middle of the night, it's a terrible, terrible thing. Gory sight. Drop your comment, like, and share. See you guys in the next update.